Hello Stampers, today I'm back with another quick and easy card using the Courage and Faith stamp set, which I really like, and also the Scallop Contours dies, which makes some really beautiful frames. And this card, like I said, is quick and easy and just a lot of fun. So we're going to start off using the Stamparatus, which sadly is retired. I bought a stamp positioner, and you can get one from the competitor to Stampin' Up. And hopefully Stampin' Up will come out with a replacement to this, but I really do like it, and if you have it, it's really useful for this type of card because you can take more than one pass. I mean, you could stamp that by hand, but it's just really nice because they're so perfectly lined up. So there you go. And I took the stamping blends and colored them. This is Dark Berry Burst. The stamping blends are alcohol ink markers, and they really make for some stunning vivid colors. So I'm just going to use the brush tip. You know, I think I'm going to use a fine tip because I'm having a hard time controlling it. And I'll color my flower. Which is a lot of fun. And I really enjoy coloring and don't really get to do it that much. So this kind of lets my artistic side come out, and wow, it's really kind of hard to mess it up with a stamping blend. Even if you're not like super artistic, you can make some really pretty cards. So I have literally every color of stamping blend the Stampin' Up sells, and a bunch of retired colors, and I use them all the time. Kind of haven't been using them the last month or so, but I probably use these more than anything that I own. All right, so that was Dark Berry Burst, and now we're going to use Old Olive. I'm going to start with the light one, and I'll try the brush tip, see if I'm good enough with that. You know, I guess I'll use a fine tip. Also, I think this is my old one. Yeah, there we go. Much better. So I'm just going to quickly color the whole thing in the light Old Olive, and then I'm going to come back with the dark Old Olive and do some shading. And really, I could have done the same thing with the flower. I could have used the light Berry Burst, come back with the darker Berry Burst, and I'm sure it would be gorgeous. And maybe you can do that on your card if you make this card. I mean, probably the longest thing in this card is the coloring, which, like I said, is a lot of fun. So it's fine. Very relaxing, kind of therapeutic, I think. All right, so there we go. And now I'm going to take the dark Old Olive, use the fine tip, and then I'm just going to outline the veins of my leaf. Now, honestly, I could have done the darker color first. I probably should have, but truly, I just never think of it, and I'll show you why in a minute. Because the lines, if you notice on the darker color, they're kind of blunt, so you want to take the lighter color and just smooth them out. When it dries, it'll smooth it all out. And like I said, I should have started with the darker color first. So I'm just going to go over it with the lighter color. And when it dries, it takes it a minute to dry, but when it dries, it kind of just makes it not look quite so stark. So there you go. Finish this up real fast. And so it just makes the leaves pop a little and makes it look kind of three-dimensional. So it's a nice effect. It's nice. Stampin' Up sells a light and a dark in every color, and it looks really nice. Great. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in my cutting and embossing machine. Which you probably could use a mini one for this, but it's not within fingertip reach for me, so I'm going to go and use the big one. And maybe I'll try to zoom out a little. There you go. Which does weird things to my lighting, so I apologize, but that's out of the way. And I'm going to put this in here, which you can't see. Let's go this way. That way I can crank it. And then I'm going to take the biggest die from the cut and contour dies. Color and contour, not cut and scallop contours dies. Oh my gosh. All right, and I'm just going to frame that. And the reason I stamped it first was so that I could frame it perfectly. And I'm going to put the clear plate on top. And let's try not to wiggle it. Looks good. All right, something is missing because this is not engaging. So, yep, I forgot my 2-plate. Try this again. 1 plate, the 2-plate. See, it has a little 2 on there. So you know if your sandwiches aren't right, because either it won't go through, or like in my case, it just didn't engage at all. So there we go. I'm kind of pushing it down till it engages, and then I'm going to crank it through, which is really hard to do sideways. Really, it's much easier if it's not sideways, but I wanted you to be able to see it in the video. So funny, very funny. All right, we will set this right here, and I want to do the embossing right now. So I'm using the exposed brick 3D embossing folder, and I'm going to put this gray granite in there, which is 5 1/4 by 4 1/8, which gives it a nice little frame on the card base. The card base is 5 1/2 by 11, scored at 4 1/4. I'll show you in a second what that looks like. All right, for this one, we use the 4-plate and the base plate. We remove the 2-plate, which is, I last embossed with this, so that's what my 2-plate was moved. All right, and now we're ready to assemble the card. Clearly I need something to drink. All right, perfect. So like I said, here's my 5 1/2 by 11. I scored it at 4 1/4. I'm gonna get my bone embossing folder, zoom back in a little, and give it a nice crisp edge. And I'm gonna get my Stampin' Seal and just put a little in all 4 corners. You don't really need a ton of this. Maybe I'll put one in the middle so it doesn't get a gap. So see how it has a nice little, wow. You know what? This did not get cut. So let me get my cutting. It's sort of hard to do this with tape, but whatever. All right, so this needs to be trimmed down to 5 1/4. I thought I measured it, but apparently I didn't before the video. 5 1/4 by 5 1/4 by 4 by 4. 5 1/4 by 4. I don't know what I said earlier, scratch it, but it is 5 1/4 by 4. And it looks like I need a little more adhesive. Just being real here. I'm not going to go back and edit this out of the video, so sorry, I'm just a real person. And you can see that even someone who's been a demonstrator for 20 years can still make mistakes. That's what this is, my 20-year pin. Got it last June. It's 20 years as a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I love what I do. I'd love it if you joined my team. So there's that, and then we'll put this on. And similarly, I'm putting a little bit of adhesive in each of the 4 corners, and then in the center. And you know what? I just realized this is really funny. I actually used a different die for the other one, but this is pretty too. So, hey, there's 2 options for you. You can use the biggest one or one in on there. I also, there's Stampin' Up! Sells these 5 different enamel effects, and I used the silver one. There's black, red, white, gold, and copper. Really nice way to add a little element to your cards. And so I used, like I said, the silver. Now this takes a while to dry, and if you look real closely, you can see I didn't let it dry in time, so I kind of got some goobies on this one. I'll have to go back and touch that up somehow. So since I do have extra white, I think I'll put maybe some there, and maybe one, maybe right there. And there, why not? All right, that just gives it a nice little finished look. And this one got smushed because I put the cutting machine right on top of it. So whoopsie, my bad. And yeah, I'm gonna just, there we go. Fix those ones that I made. These are really nice for just fixing little, you know, strays of ink or whatever you get. So there's 2 different looks using 2 different dies, but I like how they both turned out. Quick and easy card, very pretty. Now I have a special running right now that if you place a $50 order using this hostess code, which I will link in the description, I will send you the makings for this card free, and I have a video out, just put it out for this card. So you might get that one, or you might get that one. And then if you place a $100 order, you will get one of these cards, and you will get this card. And so when I say what you'll get are the makings, you're going to have to put your own sentiment on there, but I will cut everything else out, and it'll be pretty easy to assemble. And like I already have a video out for this to show you how to do it. And I'm going to close this party on October 10th. And so you'll want to place your order before then. Have a good day.